we should note, there's only one form to memorize. There's no conjugation, okay? So it's not declined. Therefore, there's only one form for strong call verbs. And this is the form, katol. And you see that there's a distinctive whole above that distinguishes infinitive absolute from the other infinitives that we have encountered so far. This would be our distinction. That's why it's in red. You don't see it, it's in red. Okay. What else can we state about the infinitives, absolutes, that appear in strong call verbs? First of all, the vowel pattern of the strong verb will also be encountered in most of the weak verb types. Okay, so there's nothing new there to learn. Either in strong verb or in weak verb, the vowel pattern will be the same. Okay. Second thing that we should note, frequently the holum vav, stem vowel, is written defectively as just simply a holum. Remember in the previous example there was katol with a tet and then holum vav. In this instance there's just a little holum above tet. You see that? So both variations will be translated absolutely the same and will be viewed as infinitive absolute. It's just what they call in Hebrew defective writing. Perhaps scribe forgot to insert the holum vav, so they just put dot above the letter. That's a simpler explanation, but it's not always the same. Unlike the infinitive construct, there is our difference. The infinitive absolute does not occur with prepositional prefixes or pronominal suffixes. Therefore, it is called absolute. It is only going to be translated as to do something, to walk, to drive, to kill, to murder, to abandon. So it will be our absolute form of the infinitive, kind of like a simple verb to be, in its simplest form, without any other prefixes or suffixes added to it. With the construct infinitives, we always have suffixes. Well, not always, but most of the time we have suffixes, prefixes, which either point out the subject or object of the infinitive. So with the absolute infinitive, it is not going to be so. All right. Well, let's look at the forms of the weak verbs. There is a page number listed on the slide, page number 251, where you can see all the forms of the weak infinitive absolute. For first gutturals, let's say if the kal perfect third masculine singular is halach, then infinitive absolute will be haloch. For first guttural, for example, with ayin being first guttural, avar will change into avor. First aleph, ahal, will change into ahol. Ga'al, for the second guttural, will change into ga'ol. So you see that distinct holum vav popping out, inserted in between the letters of the root, creating thus infinitive absolute out of the perfect kal stem. You see that happening? Okay. We should note a few things about the infinitive absolute with a third A. Third A verbs. These infinitive absolutes can appear in either one of the two forms. And here is the example. I'm missing something here. Asa, and that's on your page 251 on the bottom. Asa, being a verbal root, could be created into infinitive absolute by two different means. It could either be aso or aso. You see that? There are two dots above sin, which is both holum and sign for sin, meaning the letter of the Hebrew alphabet, not the sign for sin in a theological term. Shathach could either be shathoch or shatho. Both will be infinitive absolutes, just two different forms. Ra'ah could be either ra'o or ra'o with a whole vowel. Hayah could change to hayo. Actually, it's haych or hayo. It's actually hayo, I think, yeah. It's a whole above yo, which is kind of unusual to see. Hayo or hayo. Is that clear? This paradigm? Just cut out my margins so you can see the original order. Okay, cal infinitive absolutes with biconsonantal verbs. Infinitive absolutes appear with a holum vav or holum stem vowel in every class, as far as it concerns the biconsonantal root verbs. We'll see some examples of that. For example, we'll have verb bo in its, what form is it? Bo. Bo. What form is it? Is it the lexical form?
Yes.
What is the lexical form for biconsonantal verbs? Huh?
Infinitive absolute.
It's an infinitive construct. Okay. Do you see the difference? Okay, bo, you will hardly see the difference there. But if you look at shim, actually, you see it. Is that shim or sim? Sim. Sim. Sim actually becomes shom. Som. Then kum becomes hom. And mut becomes mot. Okay? And of course for bo, you can either have bo with holum vav or just defective writing with just holum. So in the lexicon, it's actually appearing in the infinitive construct form. How do we parse cal infinitive absolute? When parsing, you are required to identify the stem, conjugation, and the lexical form. For example, if we'll have haloch as our cal infinitive, then we'll have to identify it as cal infinitive absolute of halach. And then, of course, translation. Same about mot. Cal infinitive absolute of mut. Okay. How is the infinitive absolute used in the text? Let's look at 5 different usages. First use that we have to learn is emphatic use. The infinitive absolute can precede or follow a perfect or imperfect verbal form of the same root in order to emphasize the verbal meaning. Our example is following. Mot tamut. Translated as you will certainly die. That's emphasis. You will certainly die. Not just you will die. Mot tamot. kamut. You'll see that both words are basically the same, right? Have the same meaning, but it's increasing or emphasizing the meaning of the first, the meaning of the second by the first. So you will certainly die, and that's 2 Kings 1:16. Second use is imperatival use. That means infinitive absolute can stand by itself and function as an imperative. So be careful when you go to your homework exercises, because infinitive absolute can be used as an imperative. Okay? And our example is Shamor et Yom HaShabbat. Okay, translation. Observe the Sabbath day, or to observe the Sabbath day would be literal translation, but it's actually acting as an imperative. Okay. Third usage is called contemporaneous action. What does that mean? When two infinitive absolutes can be used together with a perfect or imperfect verb to express two verbal actions occurring simultaneously. So that will be contemporaneous action. From the word contemporary, so that means this action is contemporary with the other, meaning they're in parallel, happening in the same period of time. Okay. So example for that will be Vayelech haloch ve'akol. Okay. So how do we translate that? And he walked, walking and eating. That's literal translation. How do we translate it into English? And he walked, eating as he went. That would be idiomatic translation of the word. Okay. Can you all see the slides here? So be creative in your attempt to translate something into English, because literal translation might not be the best way to pursue. Okay? Fourth usage of the infinitive absolute would be complementary. Thus, the infinitive absolute can complement the main verb of a sentence and carry the temporal value of that main verb. So, in our example, Ragom otho ba'evanim kol ha'edach. Okay? And the congregation shall stone him with stones. So, shall stone him, that's the equivalent of that red first word, which is actually infinitive absolute. All the congregation shall stone him with stones. Kind of redundant. Can you stone somebody with 2x4s? Or gravel? You can stone somebody with drugs, but that's a modern invention. We won't get into it. Another interesting thing that we should note about the infinitive absolute is that we are learning more particles that either negate or create a sense of existence for something or someone. So thus the particle yesh, in Hebrew, this particle can express the existence of someone or something, which translates either to there is or there are. So if you'll see somewhere yesh and then some noun, then this yesh should be translated as there is or there are. Now let's look at the examples of things here. Yesh